Son, I know how lost you've been feeling and wondering if there is time to start over. But I want to tell you something. The fresh start isn't in the future, it begins now. In this video, I will teach you 5 powerful lessons for you to trust in me and take the first step, even when everything around says otherwise. I am by your side, waiting for you. Let's walk together. Lesson 1. Find strength, even in weakness. Son, I know how you feel right now. I know that sometimes you face your own mistakes and wonder if there is still something good in you. I see your falls, and I understand the weight you carry. But I want you to know that I have never abandoned you, and I will never abandon you. You know, Peter went through this too. I remember well when he denied me 3 times. Peter was filled with fear, and despite all the promises, he found himself weak. And in his failure, he turned away from me. But what happened next? I did not reject him. I did not leave him in his shame. On the contrary, I sought him out. I restored him, and more than that, I entrusted him with the mission to build my church. Peter failed, but my grace reached him, and I lifted him up. This shows, son, that your mistakes do not define you. I have a greater plan for your life. I know that fear and shame want to paralyze you, but know that I am here, ready to restore, ready to lift you up. It doesn't matter how many times you have fallen. What matters is that when you look to me, you find forgiveness, strength, and a new beginning. When you look at your falls, also look to me. I am your restorer, and just as I did with Peter, I want you to know that even when you fail, I am the God who lifts you up and sets you on your feet again. Rise up, son, and walk with me. I am with you, and with my love, you will find the strength to start over. Lesson 2. Even in failures, I am with you. Son, I know that sometimes you feel you don't have the strength to carry on. The weight of mistakes and difficulties can feel overwhelming, and you wonder how you could start over from such a low point. But I am here to tell you, I am your strength. Do you remember the story of Moses? He felt that way too. Before he was called to free my people, Moses made a terrible mistake. He killed an Egyptian in an impulsive act of anger and ran away to the desert, thinking his failure had disqualified him for any greater purpose. He believed that his past was preventing him from being used by me. But what did I do? I found him in the desert, called him to a new mission, and with my strength, Moses freed Israel. Son, I tell you this so that you know, your past does not define your future. It doesn't matter how far you have gone or how great your mistakes are. I am the God who strengthens you, restores you, and equips you for something greater. When you feel weak, I am your strength. When you think you can't go on, I will be your shield. When shame and fear surround you, know that I am by your side, ready to lift you up. I want you to always remember, starting over does not depend on your own strength, but on my grace and power in your life. Just as I did with Moses, I can give you the strength you need to move forward. Don't give up, son, because I am with you every step of the way. I don't worry about what you did in the past. What matters is what you will do with me now, in the present. Rise up, trust in me, and move forward with the strength I will give you. I am the God who strengthens you, and with my strength, you can start over. Lesson 3. The courage to start over is in trusting me. Son, I know that many times fear takes hold of your heart. The fear of making mistakes again, the fear of failing when you try to start over, the fear of being rejected or not being able to fulfill what I asked. This fear paralyzes you, doesn't it? But I want to tell you something you need to understand deeply. My grace is greater than any fear. Remember David, a man after my own heart, but who had his moments of fear and weakness. When David faced Goliath, he was not just confronting a physical giant. He was confronting the fear that everyone around him felt. The fear of something larger, the fear of the unknown. But David did not rely on his own strength. He trusted in me. He knew that, with my help, he could defeat any giant, no matter how great. I did not choose David because he was perfect, but because he trusted in me even after failing and committing grave sins. David did not allow fear or shame to dominate his life. He repented, sought my forgiveness, and returned to my heart. He understood that Even in moments of fear, my grace was there to restore him, to give him strength to continue. Son, fear can be a great obstacle, but trust in me is much greater, I am telling you. Do not let fear dictate your path. I am with you, as I was with David. No matter how great the fear or how difficult the restart seems, my grace is greater than all of this. I am greater than any fear you may face. When you encounter fear, remember David and how my grace sustained him when fear tries to paralyze you. Remember that my grace is sufficient to give you courage. I did not give you a spirit of fear, but a spirit of power, love, and self-discipline. I am the strength you need to face any giant, and my grace will always be greater than your fear. Lesson 4. Trust my plan for your life. Son, I know you have been questioning the future, haven't you? What does tomorrow hold for you? Are you on the right path? I want you to know from the bottom of my heart, I have already prepared a way for you. Even when you do not understand the direction you are taking, trust that I am guiding each step. Nothing, absolutely nothing, can thwart the plans I have for your life. Perhaps you feel lost, thinking that the future is uncertain, that the choices you made or the mistakes of the past have affected what is to come. But I want to remind you of something important. I am a God who sees the beginning and the end. I see your future clearly, and you are not alone on this journey. Do you remember Abraham? He was called to leave his homeland, to leave everything he knew, without knowing exactly where he was going. He had no map, nor guarantee that everything would turn out well, but he trusted. He believed in me. Even when everything around him was uncertain, he did not have all the answers, but he followed me. I made him the father of many nations, a promise that seemed impossible, but which came to pass because Abraham trusted in my plan, even when he did not fully understand the way. Sometimes, my son, the future will seem cloudy, and you will wonder if you are making the right choices. But I tell you today, trust in me is the first step to seeing the promises I have for you come to fruition. I know you want clear answers, visible signs, but true trust comes when you decide to follow, even without knowing what lies ahead. I am faithful, and my plans for you are plans of peace, not of harm. Even in adversity, I am with you, guiding, sustaining, and when everything unfolds, you will see that by trusting in me, each piece of the puzzle fits together. Son, I know the future can be frightening, but are you willing to trust me? To follow the path I have prepared, even when it does not seem clear? I ask you to trust. I am your certainty, and together, we will cross the unknown. When you trust in me, peace will accompany every step. Lesson 5. Start again. Now, don't wait any longer. Son, I know you have been postponing, thinking that one day will be the right time to start again. You think you need more time, more preparation, or perhaps even more courage. But I want to tell you something with all my love. The right moment is now. The restart is not in the distant future. It begins now, the moment you decide to act. I am here, ready to give you strength now. You don't need to wait for everything to be perfect or for all the answers to appear. When you trust in me, the strength to take the first step will come. I invite you today not to procrastinate any longer. The fresh start you desire can be yours, and it begins when you choose to trust in me. You are not alone on this path. I am the one who lifts you up, who strengthens you, and who goes ahead of you, preparing the way. Remember Zacharias and Elizabeth. They were elderly, and humanly speaking, it would have been impossible for them to have a child. But they did not give up. They did not lose faith, even when it seemed too late. They trusted in me, and I blessed them with a miracle. John, who came to prepare the way for me. Their story is a reminder that with God, it is never too late for a fresh start. What seemed impossible for man became possible through faith. Just like them, you can experience the miracle of a new beginning. It doesn't matter how far behind you feel, or how much time has passed. When you decide to trust, I give you strength to restart at any moment. There is no better time than now. Son, I am here, ready to lift you up. The fresh start is not something in the distant future. It is a decision you can make now, at this very moment. I am the God of new beginnings. I am the God who restores and gives new life. The first step doesn't have to be big, but it must be taken. Will it be difficult? Yes. But I will be with you every step of the way. Will you wait longer? Or will you take the first step now, trusting that I am by your side? I am ready to give you strength. Don't put off your fresh start any longer. Son, tomorrow begins today.